In a move that stirred debate both domestically and internationally, President Trump made a surprising decision on his first day in office to halt all government refugee resettlement programs. However, just a few weeks later, he carved out an exception specifically for white South Africans, particularly those of Afrikaner descent. This action led to a massive response, with nearly 70,000 Afrikaners expressing interest in taking refuge in the United States. The South African Chamber of Commerce in the U.S. became the central point of contact for these individuals, who saw Trump's executive order as an opportunity for a new life in America. The president's executive order, issued on February 7th, cut U.S. funding to South Africa, citing government actions that Trump claimed were fueling disproportionate violence against white landowners in the country. Additionally, the order instructed U.S. officials to provide humanitarian assistance and resettle Afrikaners in the United States. The South African Chamber of Commerce, which presented a list to the U.S. Embassy in South Africa, reported that 67,000 Afrikaners had shown interest in the program. This move was sparked by a controversial land expropriation law in South Africa, which President Trump and some critics, including tech mogul Elon Musk, argued unfairly targeted white landowners. The law, meant to address the inequities of apartheid, allows for the redistribution of land to Black South Africans, though it has yet to result in any actual land seizures. The situation became even more complicated as Musk, who was born in South Africa, voiced his frustrations over the country's treatment of white farmers. At the same time, Trump amplified these criticisms, further fueling the controversy surrounding South Africa's land reform policies. The political fallout was swift, with Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem tasked with overseeing the resettlement plan. Relations between the United States and South Africa grew increasingly strained, especially after Rubio announced that South Africa's ambassador to the U.S., Ebrahim Rasool, would be expelled from the country in response to his criticisms of U.S. policies under Trump. This refugee plan raised questions about the broader implications for U.S. immigration policy. Critics argue that if the U.S. were to follow through on resettling a significant portion of South Africa's white population, it could be seen as a racially biased policy that neglects the needs of other refugees in dire situations around the world. The policy would not only damage diplomatic relations between the U.S. and South Africa, but could also paint the U.S. as endorsing a form of selective immigration based on race. In conclusion, the Trump administration's offer of refugee status to white Afrikaners in South Africa remains a deeply divisive issue. It reflects broader geopolitical tensions, concerns about racial inequality, and the intersection of immigration policies with global political debates. As the number of those seeking refuge grows, the future of U.S.-South Africa relations and the moral underpinnings of this controversial immigration plan will continue to spark important discussions. This article has been brought to you by In the Know News, where we keep you informed and engaged with the latest developments on important global topics. Don't forget to subscribe for more insightful analysis on the issues that matter most.